I'm Joanna Garzilli, award-winning author and life coach. Welcome to the Looking Glass podcast. If I share this with you, I'm hoping that I stop doing it. It's a naughty behavior that I keep doing it because I'm getting some type of payoff from it. So I'm going to break it down, and as I share with you, I'm hoping that it gets to reflect something for you in your own life. It doesn't have to be something naughty or silly like what I'm about to share with you, but it'll give you some type of reprieve or release from a habit or behavior that doesn't serve you. I was going to Muay Thai class and I nearly didn't go because I had this photo shoot coming up. I haven't done the photo shoot yet. And anyway, I got over myself and I thought, okay, I'm going to go. And let me go back a step. So Nick said to me, that's my husband, he said, well, you could just tell whoever you're partnered with, hey, don't punch me in the face or something because I've got a shoot and I just want to be careful. And he was saying that more as a joke. But then I started thinking about that. And I ended up being partnered with someone who is an amateur fighter, right? So they actually do fight. They're on an amateur team. We were in these drills and I started to get a little bit concerned because their punches were quite strong. And then I had the past trauma come up from when my toe was bent back and I got the calf strain. So as we went through the sequence, I couldn't help myself. Now, I say I couldn't help myself. I could help myself. I could have just stayed quiet. I started off the class really well and I was doing great. And then I said, oh, just like, please, can you be careful? Like, I just want to make sure I'm still new. I had this injury. I'm only in my 6th week now, and I got a photo shoot coming up. Oh my gosh! And he was really cool. He was like, "Yeah, fine, no problem. Yeah, it's okay. Don't worry. I'm not gonna do any hard punches. We'll just go through it." But I got into that, and then when I had to go and block a kick, I said, "Oh, yeah, I was on crutches because my toe got bent back, blah, blah, blah." I went, you've heard the story before. I've told you the story before. So I started telling the story going into that. And it was good. And then afterwards, the teacher said, do you want to change partners? Oh, when we started off, I didn't have a partner with anyone. So I ended up being with the teacher for a bit. But then I did end up with this person as a partner. And then I said, well, I know I'm sort of new, I'm not that good. Do you want to partner with someone else? But they actually decided to stick with me, which surprised me. So I guess there were some parts of me that have grown in the class. But, oh my gosh, I have got to stop with this story, with this script. It's like I go into it each time. I wonder, do you ever do that in your own life where there's a certain area where something comes up where you feel nervous, you feel outside of your comfort zone, or you feel scared, and then you come up with the story? What if I hadn't come up with a story? I mean, maybe I would have got hit in the face. I probably wouldn't have got hit in the face. I would have been fine. So is there something for you as I share this thing where I do this? And that's just an example of it. I mean, because it keeps coming up over and over because I'm going to this class and then having that experience because I haven't got past my fears yet with it. And what I see with that is what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to become more vigilant and look at where, when I go into a certain situation, do I start telling myself a particular story? I mean, I'm aware of another one that's coming to mind right now of around like someone else I know in the self-help industry. And I'll just go into the story if they come up on social media and suddenly I've got this whole thing going in my head comparing myself to them, which is absolutely ridiculous because they've got their own gifts and talents. I have my gifts and talents. And I know it, that compare and despair, it like doesn't help me. It's not good energy to put out there. It keeps me contracted and small instead of just being animated by spirit and being able to have that love and support. So is there something for you, a story, or think of it, if you had a bookshelf or, I don't know, your Kindle library, whatever, however it is that you would read, and there's those certain books that have just something that's happened for you, certain chapters in your life, and you're still carrying with that, and then you go back to that and repeat it over and over. I feel that it is such a great opportunity to not to discard it or to pretend that those things didn't happen, or to dismiss your fears, my fears. Me being scared I'm going to get injured again, or I'm going to get hurt in some way, or that I'm going to fail again in my life. That I don't have to deny that, but I don't have to get into the fear around it. And this is where, again, referring back to this idea of being present and looking to the past to shape the future. I like that. Thank you for listening to me. I want to say, waffle on. Sharing the things where I would get stuck. But because I know the next time, because I've shared this with you now, and you get to reflect with me when I next go into class, I'm gonna see what happens. I can't say that I'm never going to use that story again, and I want to stop using that story. But I'm not going to put a pressure on myself to say I'm not going to do it again, because when I do that to myself, then there's a good chance I'll do it. So I think I'm aware of it, and I'm going to allow and give myself permission. And if I do go into the story again, I will just own it and just say, I went into it again. But I'm going to check in with you at some point, and hopefully I'm going to say, hey, I didn't go into that story. I stopped doing it. That's the cool thing about getting to reflect. We get to be accountable. So I would love to hear if there is some type of story or stories that you have that are your go-to as a protection mechanism that you use, but really they're not serving you. They're not allowing you or I to grow. I appreciate our time together. Thank you for reflecting with me. I'm Joanna Garzilli. I'm sending you lots and lots of love, and I look forward to connecting with you next time.